absolutely delicious, super yummy.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Super Yummy Kitchen.
Don't forget to wash your hands before you start cooking. Happy cooking!
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Super Yummy Kitchen. And I know we're all having to spend more time at home at the moment and we're not going to school. But that gives us a great chance to cook some amazing super yummy snacks with the people that we're at home with. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make Barry Beans cheesy mash muffins.
Hello Barry Beans, you look like you've got big muscles.
So let's get started. I'm just going to quickly take you through the ingredients. 4 simple ingredients. The first and the most important ingredient, Barry beans. And then we come to the next ingredient. We have bud and ched. Now these are red potatoes, quite clearly because they're red. There are other kinds of potatoes. Of course there are King Edward potatoes. You will find those mostly in castles. And then there's also Charlotte potatoes. And they're really good at opera singing. So we've got potatoes, we've got Barry beans, and then we've got some grated cheese, which makes it into like fluffy, fairy-like cheese. You can use any cheese you want. I've used cheddar, but you can use red Leicester, any kind of cheese at all, as long as we can grate it, and it's a gratey, fluffy cheese when it's been grated. And then the last thing to use, just a couple of eggs, and that's it. And that's all we need to make Barry Beans cheesy mash muffins. So the first thing you've got to do is peel the potato. So I'm just going to take a potato and then I've got a really special peeler. This is called a speed peeler. Now you need to use these. If you're happy to use these, then be really careful. It's important that you peel away from yourself. If not, then get your mummy or daddy or the people looking after you to give you a hand. But I'll just show you how to do it. So you hold the potato quite firmly and just basically, as if you were painting the potato, go all the way down. And what happens is, of course, little shards of potato come up, little strips, almost like little wiggly worms of potato.
Potato skins? I know they're full of fibre, but what is Andrew going to do with them?
And when I'm doing this, what I really like is that the potato is warm on the outside a little bit, and then as soon as you peel it, it feels really cold. And as I'm doing this, I can smell soil. It reminds me of garden centres and greenhouses and earth, because of course that's where potatoes come from. So just keep going down, peeling and peeling away. And there you have a perfect peeled potato. And the next thing we have to do is cook that potato up, ready for putting in the pan.
Potatoes can be quite hard to cut through, so get an adult to help you.
That goes into the pan. Lovely. Now you'll notice that we've got some little bits left. The peelings. Now I actually quite like those as well. Who doesn't like the skin on a lovely jacket potato? So what we're going to do is we're just going to lightly oil the baking sheet, which you've seen before now. Lightly oil the baking sheet. Not too much oil at all. Just paint that on a little bit there, a little bit here. Fantastic. And then we're going to lay the little strips, the little worms if you like, of jacket potato skin, of lovely potato skin, actually on the baking tray. And then what we're going to do, we're going to pop those into a medium oven. And they're absolutely delicious.
Ah, Andrew, I was wondering what you were going to do with them.
So now we've got our potatoes in the pan ready to make the mash, and we need to leave them in there for about 15 minutes. Now it's really important that we don't overcook them, so we need to keep checking. They just need to look slightly crumbly, but not completely crumbly. But we'll show you what that looks like. So they're in the pan, boiling away for 15 minutes, and then we're going to make the most lovely, fluffiest mashed potato ever.
Cook the potatoes for 15 minutes and then drain.
And the next important thing, now this is really quite important, especially when you're making mash, even if it's not for Barry Beans cheesy mash muffins, is that we dry the mash out. Now, as you can see, they're kind of starting to fall apart a little bit. So they're a little bit crumbly. So that's quite, we can see how they're starting to crumble. Now the important thing is that we actually start to dry and get rid of some of the moisture, some of the water. And you can see that coming off, a little bit of steam. You can do a little bit of the dry dance if you want. Keep them moving around, and what you'll find is that they start to go a little bit more crumbly, and you can start to see the outside of potatoes get a little bit white and fluffy. And when they've done that, they're ready to mash. And now the potatoes are nice and dry. It's the best bit, the mashing bit, with a mashed potato masher. So what you need to do now is put the potato masher into the actual pan and press quite hard, and you can see the actual potato come through the potato masher.
Go on, Andrew. Show those potatoes who's boss.
Because no one likes lumpy bumpy mash. Absolutely not.
Leave no lumps. Smooth potatoes.
So there we are, lovely scrummy mashed potatoes. So what you need to do now is leave that to cool for about 10 to 12 minutes in a bowl, and so then we're ready to start adding the rest of the lovely Barry Beans cheesy mashed muffin ingredients. One thing that we do have to do to make sure that Barry Beans cheesy mashed muffins are squidgy and lovely is actually drain the beans so that we have sauce separate to beans. So you need a little bowl and a sieve, and we pour the beans through the sieve, and then the sauce will start to dribble out the bottom. There we go, lovely. Oh, baked bean sauce. Give it a little shake, just a little shake. You can tap it on the side of your hand, but then we actually keep all that sauce because we're going to do something very special with that a little bit later on.
Don't forget, keep the sauce.
So now it's time to mix all our ingredients together. So we take a nice bowl. I have our fantastic dry mashed potato, and there's 300 grams. I'm going to pop that into the bowl there. The other ingredient that we need to add is eggs. But the first thing we've got to do is just whisk those a little bit. So 1 egg, and then I'm just going to whisk that up with a fork just to break it up a little bit. You can actually, it's like a little tornado in the bowl. So you can actually see that, and you want to mix that all together so all the lovely golden yolk mixes with the white, and then we're going to actually pour that into the bowl as well, like that. Lovely. Put that down there, and then we're going to add part of the cheese. Now I have 75 grams of grated cheese, but I need to leave a little bit for the top. So I'm going to put just over half in there, like so, and that leaves us a little bit left to make the top all crunchy and cheesy and toasty. And now we just need to mix, quite simply, mix all these ingredients together. So as you've seen me do before, we do big circles and little circles, big circles and little circles, and we can mash and stir and the whole thing, and the potatoes kind of shut up the egg. It's really great. Lovely. Now you'll see, because all the cheese and all the egg, and it just looks like really nice scrummy mashed potato, but it's not. It's Barry Beans cheesy mashed muffin mix. So now the next stage is to make the muffins.
Divide the mixture into 6 equal blobs.
You don't have to be nice, just so we've got the right amount, because we wouldn't want a cheesy mashed muffin without a hat. That's just not what we want at all.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
And we just want to make sure each one is in half.
You can use a spatula to cut them in half.
Now the first thing that you need to do is to oil the muffin tin and make sure that, the muffins don't stick. So I've got my trusty brush.
You only need a tiny bit of oil.
Now it's time to put the whole things together. And what we need here is a big spoon and a little spoon. So let's take half of one of our lovely little dollops of potato and pop that into the bottom. So it's on the big spoon. Let's just smooth it off with a little spoon and pop that down into the bottom of our muffin tin. Or if you want a tray, just leave it on hole and just make a little hole in the top. And then with the little spoon, we're going to make like a kind of just a little tiny little hole.
Create a little pocket for your beans to sit in.
And then we're going to spoon in some of our Barry Beans into the top. About a teaspoonful, but a small little teaspoonful. And that's going to actually sit in almost like a little nest with Barry beans sitting on the inside. And then we take the other side of our dollop and we flatten that out a little bit, pop that on top, and then we get our little spoon and we then just push that down. It's really important that it's actually sealed all the way around the outside.
Repeat this to make all 6 muffins.
So now the only thing we have to do now is to put, remember we saved a little bit of cheese, is to just pop a little bit of cheese on the top of each of the muffins.
I can't wait to try these.
So now they're ready to pop in the oven at gas mark 7 or 200 degrees for about half an hour, but keep an eye on them so they're golden and bubbly and yummy. So we don't want to waste anything, even potato peelings. So our lovely crispy skins are out the oven, ready for a little treat later on.
Wow, never thought of doing that.
The Barry Beans cheesy mashed muffins are now ready. So let's take one out. I've let them cool a little while. And the great thing, of course, is that, in fact, don't tell people there's baked beans inside. Let them find out. I think that's the amazing part. It's like a little secret. And the bean juice, remember we saved? I've got a little dish. There's something super scrummy about cold bean juice. Warm Barry Beans cheesy muffin. Cold bean juice. Absolutely scrummy. Chewy, crispy, cheesy of course, and even a little bit creamy. I do hope you enjoy them. They are delicious. And be kind today. Care about the people around you. Make Barry Bean cheesy muffins for the people you're with. Happy cooking. See you next time.
Georgie, is it true that these beanie muffins will give me energy?
The beans and the mashed potato in the muffins are full of carbohydrates, which give us lots of energy. Just what we need to do the bean dance. Have you done the bean dance yet, Darcy? Let's see if those muffins are working. Oh, Darcy, that's fantastic!
Thanks, Georgie.
Andrew, I did my hair like yours. Pretty cool, huh?
That's awesome, mate.
Don't forget to check out the Bean Dance activity sheet. Available at lowschoolmeals.co.uk. Next week, Chef Allegra is making fluffy cheesy potato pillows. Simply delicious, super yummy. See you then.